Okay. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to bless this council and all who are engaged in the work of local government. Grant that they may order all things in wisdom, righteousness, and peace, the honor of thy name and the good of thy people who dwell in this city. Amen.
Amen.
So members, before we commence today's business, we had colleagues we were working with, I think our residents who were taking part in the activities of the city, the late Bulisani Ngube and this young gentleman Coupe from Knowledge Coupe from site. I will request that we just take a moment of silence in remembrance of the third pet of souls. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, may I take this opportunity, colleagues, aldermen and councillors of the city of Bulawayo, management and staff of the city led by the town clerk, Mr. Sid Dube, all stakeholders of the city, ladies and gentlemen of the media, may I take this opportunity to welcome you to this order sitting of council. May I then request that the town clerk post the question to the House.
Thank you, Your Worship. Aldermen and councillors of the city of Bulawayo, senior management and staff of the city, ladies and gentlemen from the media, stakeholders who may be with us in the gallery or who may be watching us from other media platforms. The legal question, Your Worship, being confirmation of minutes of ordinary meeting held on the 3rd of May 2023, attached as Annex A, pages 8 to K. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, town clerk. What does the House say? Thank you. Thank you. May we now move to the business of the day. The report of the Future Water Supplies and Water Action Committee meeting held on the 2nd of May 2023.
I move that the report of the Future Water Supplies and Action Committee meeting held on the 2nd of May 2023 as submitted be received and the various recommendations contained therein be adopted.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Any seconder? Councillor Jane Love, thank you. Any matters of concern from the House?
Move the report.
Thank you, members. We move to the next report, being that of the Health, Housing and Education Committee meeting held on the 9th May 2023. Yes, Alderman Lubimbi.
I move that the report of the Health, Housing and Education Committee meeting held on the 9th May 2023 as submitted be received and the various recommendations contained therein be adopted.
Thank you, Alderman Lubimbi, chairperson of the day. And second, yes, Councillor Elmlilo. Any matters of concern? Councillor Jele, which item?
5.
Item 5, item 1, 2, 3, 4. Councillor Batrai.
Item 1.
Item 1. Yes, proceed.
Thank you, Worship. My question is, what are you doing with the unregistered food outlets, which are almost everywhere in town.
As a committee. That was a predictable question. Okay, thank you. Any other interventions on the same item? Okay, item 2, 3, 4. Yes, Councillor Chele.
Thank you, Worship. Item 5, which talks about cemeteries.
Yes.
I wanted to find out, Worship, how far are we in terms of the Pumula cemetery? Because you realize, especially Tina Kulumani, we are getting used to saying, but we are supposed that in Estlalen Kulumani, Kachan. I know work as a cemetery Pumula, which are the plans in Umbe. Sesa concentrating happy in future. Because I'm thinking, Worship, njengoba sisale space emvuthwa maybe ngenye time ukuthi sibeqalisa ukuyisebenza mbijana singayisebenzi nge last minute singasela space emvuthwa nyabo.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Swandes, you end up because you are hesitating. Can't see where there's up or is.
I was thinking with his end up.
Okay, yes, item.
On the same issue of cemeteries.
Yes, that's item 5.
Your Worship, I've noted that village is standing, which is regarded as one of the cemeteries that as far as abantu abahloniphekayo eBulawayo. Siyananzelela ukuthi iyagcwala. There is little space that is left. Befuna ukwazi ukuthi i-committee, is there any other place that has been set aside esizayenza ibe indawo lapha esizabeka khona abantu bakithi abahloniphekayo? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that very important question. Which item, Honorable? Which item?
Item 9.
No. We go to item 9. We wanted clarity on some issues that have been raised, so that we don't bundle too much items. Yes, Deputy Mayor.
I want to respond as a member of the non-singing.
No, there's no non-singing.
As a member of the committee.
Yes, you can.
Thank you, Worship. I will respond on item 5.
And 1.
Yes, my committee is going to help me on others.
Okay.
Well, the issue of cemeteries, it's a cause for concern for all of us. We are working flat out on Pumula Cemetery. Actually, it's not Pumula Cemetery alone. We are trying to avail better spaces for everyone that are convenient for our residents. But we are saying, why are we not preaching other means of burial that don't consume too much space in the urban area? Because urban land is not increasing. Remember, we are every day you go to Mpilo, people are being born, meaning to say there is need for accommodation, there is need for business to create employment for those that are born. And the people we go to the mortuaries, people are dying every day. There is there is need for land to bury them, meaning to say there is struggle for land. So there are some players that can be substituted from struggling for land. For instance, there is the issue of cremation. If we try and allow those that don't fear any religious aspect on cremating their loved ones, they must be encouraged to do so. And if as Africans, 99% of us do have rural homes and we do have burial societies. If it is difficult to save land here in town, we encourage our loved residents to try.
Sorry. We have a problem of the phone. Councillor Mlalas and Councillor Swat. I don't know what's happened. You can put it on flight mode. Maybe. As you always do when you're at home.
I can't understand. The mayor is saying he always try to call Councillor Mlalas and the phone upon flight mode when she's at home. What I'm saying is that let's encourage our residents to use other means, such as Uyambeke Kaya, Uyendesa Kumucha, so to bury at home. So let's carry our people Kumucha if it allows. And let's encourage our people to have funeral policies and burial societies. Because the land in the CPD, in town, is scarce. People want houses, people want factories to work. People want cemeteries. So let's end up Mucha.
No, but Deputy Mayor, the members want progress report from the committee on what the committee is doing to work on those cemeteries that were gazetted.
Don't expose.
I think this is what members are saying, because we end up having whatever full by people from Ward 22 and Ward 23 in Kulumani, who could easily go to Pumula. We could have people from Penside and so forth. We know of Marvel Cemetery. They could be utilizing that. It's nearer to them and cut cost on those who will be attending. I think this is the question that the members, perhaps as a committee, you need to give us a comprehensive report. Maybe you need to go and do your homework as a committee.
Yes.
And then give us a comprehensive report in the next meeting.
Yes.
This is what
Thank you, Worship.
you should have told members.
We'll definitely do that.
Thank you very much.
I think Councillor Alderman Lumbi can respond.
Yes, the Alderman Lumbi. There's still item 1 on food to unlicensed food to alleged unlicensed food to outlets that are.
Thank you, Worship. Aldermen and councillors, your concerns are heard. We look upon it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You can as well help assist the committee, Councillor Batrai, if there are prominent spots or prominent food outlets that are unlicensed. You can always approach the committee so that they look into those specific areas. Because sometimes if we just make bare allegations, it's very difficult for the committee to.
Because if we fail to control that, we end up having serious outbreaks.
Yes. So that's why I'm saying you can as well approach the chairperson of the committee so that those specific food outlets that the member may know that have not been licensed, or the allegations that they're not licensed, so that they can bring the matter to finance.
It's okay, we should approach the committee.
Okay, thank you. Yes, item.
Thank you, Worship. I still haven't been answered on the issue of legal standing.
Oh yes, I think yeah.
Your Worship, we are aware that a place where we bury our esteemed people is filling up. But actually, it's a sign that there is something that is not being done right. The way it's filling up, with everyone who dies is taken to Roseka. Everyone who dies is taken to Lady Stanley. I think we are going. Can I finish?
So order.
I think we need to relook at the policies. Pella, sometimes you'll be saying this is a place of honor, and it ends up losing that dignity. You know, I'm not saying we have made a mistake, but there are some people that you can say, if so and so has buried today, which means automatically I will be buried today. So I'm saying we need to relook. Councillors, we are the ones that recommend these people to come to Lady Stanley. So, but when we are working on getting a proper and a new area, but we must not invest much for our loved ones to die. We must look after them when they are alive. When they are alive, let's honor them when they are alive, so that when they die, they can go to their mushas or wherever. But we are working on something. I think on the report that we requested in the next meeting, it will be part of it, Your Worship. I'm saying maybe Councillor Spande is worried that he's going to die.
No, thank you very much. I think it's very important that it's very important that we have sorry, order. I think it's very important that we have forward planning, even in death. You see, we plan for housing, we plan for industrial, commercial, and so forth. We must plan even for dying. I mean, and even in death, we must always have that forward planning. I think that's the concern of the members, to say it's filling up. And what is the alternative if it fills up? I think it's a genuine concern from members. Thank you. You answered, Councillor Swanda. The report will come with all those. They will look into it. The committee will look into it. Yes, there was item 9. Is there another item? 6, 7, 8? No? Yes, Councillor Batre.
Thank you. First, I want to thank the committee for the baseline of about 100 and...
No, we can't hear you.
Firstly, I want to thank the committee for offering bursaries to around 148 students. And also I want to challenge the committee to increase the number to at least 10,000. You know, they say it's better to educate a child than to repay a man. This is a serious opportunity which you have to utilize so that at least to build the future of this country by educating those kids. Also, if you see what is happening in our townships, that will be also an important opportunity to reduce drug addiction to our kids. So let's increase these bursaries, and also let's not leave them at O levels and A level. Let's take them to universities. Let's take them to colleges so that at least they have something to do. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that was the first. I didn't hear the second, but it's okay. It's okay. It's correct. You have actually. It's good that we still, even in these difficult circumstances, we're still able to fund education of our underprivileged children. I think we must appreciate that and take note of what is happening in the committee and department. Any other matters of concern on the report? Thank you. Let's move to the next report, which is that of Environmental Management Engineering Services Committee meeting of 15 May 2023. Yes, Councillor Jele.
I know that the report of the Environmental Management and Engineering Committee held on the 15th of May is submitted, be received, and the various recommendations contained therein be adopted. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Jele. Any second? Yes, Councillor Chabangwe. Any matters of concern? Any matters of concern from the engineering report? Move. No, I saw Councillor Chikora was saying those up.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm happy to respond to your request that maybe we should talk about the engineering. Earlier, last month, we received the concerns from residents about our notice to say...
That's
item number... when saying rate leveling and... If you say truth, I think that means you have already identified.
No, it's
item 3.
That's correct. That's correct. Road regulation, then read that.
You can say item number 2 combined with item number 3, number 5, whichever I want to pick from there. Because it's going to be just general. Out there, people thought that we were saying You recall your worship from last full council that when I stood up here and said, council has a responsibility to level up with these gravel pits that we. Other councillors say they misunderstood me to say that we were not happy that gravel was being delivered, which was not the case. However, later on during the month, your worship received a notice that was not so clear as to whether we are allowing members of the public to help us maintain the roads. So I think as council we need to be very clear. I'm very happy that later on there was then a clarification as to what our notice was saying. But I think as councillors we must stand up and say it, even during this platform, to say that yes, members of the public can come aboard and assist us to repair the roads. But obviously, when you are assisting, you have to have specifications and also the authority authorized to do it. But I thought later on, the whole community did not get again it right. There was so much concerns and so much, what I would say, confusion or noise to say, how can you have failed as council? How can you then say we must not help you? I was very concerned, Your Worship, with those discussions, and I was very happy when later on another clarification came in, which was the second one. To say, members of the public, please come aboard, help your city to maintain the roads. But I think when you are doing, especially the new roads, where there is no road and you want to do a road, you must come to council. I think that was specifically the purpose of the notice, to say you must come to the council and get authority, get measurement, and even get advice on the material that we can use. Because people are using all these other types of materials to repair. To repair roads, whether pothole patching or just graveling, some are even using bricks, stones, and so on. So very happy to say the clarification came, and I'm sure out there people are very happy with that clarification. And we must continue to say people must come and help their city, because truly alone we cannot do it. We will continue to deliver gravel along the roads, and our people must assist us to repair. Wherever they are not very sure of what they are supposed to be using or doing, they must get clarity from the department. So I thought I should just add my little voice to the discussion that was going on during the whole month. To the extent that others were even saying we are mining. We are mining, we are not repairing roads. But again, those that have gone to the site today, I think we're very happy with what is happening along Lufefe Road. So well done to the team that is on the ground. But also we need to speed up, maybe ask for more money. I don't know from where worship. Thank you very much. I thought I should just add to my voice.
Thank you very much for that. You see why I said so members are not keen to speak to the environmental report, I mean the engineering report. So it's very important to always speak to this report, because it, yes, there's Councillor Mdilo there.
Thank you.
Item
6.
Okay.
to borrow anything from that.
Councillor
committee, aspiring candidate, busy. Isilungisa imigwaqo ngale county park ukuthi mzamubani thina njengecouncil njengoba thina kasikwazi ukuthi lo babhizi kade sibalungisa imigwaqo ukuthi khona ukuba kuthethe ngasikwazi ngoba thina njengecouncil asizange sizwe thina ukuthi sokulomuntu osebisile lapha kule khona kokubishwayo ukuthi waphiwa imvumo yokuthi ayenze umgwaqo ngale. On my understanding kwazi ukuthi njengoba engelabo manje nalabethu khona ngale wenza umgwaqo wenza lobani sifuna ukuthi sibe kwazi ukuthi i-committee kubambe njani.
Yes,
thank you, Worship. Ngizafuna ukukhuluma ku-issue eraiswe ngu-Councillor Chikora. I think i-report liyane yareleaswa town clerk on the issue yama-residents ukuthi bakhona belungise imigwaqo. Mina, my concern is especially when it comes to ama-hubs that are being put by ama-residents. We are told that city council ichile ihlabathi. Instead of ama-residents athathe avale igodi, wona bathatha bafaka i-hump speed, and i-hump speed is the speed hump. Size yakhona, it's doing more damage to the cars than ukuthi uvalwe amagodi. So I think kwakungekho wrong ukuthi ama-residents sithi khona nxa livala imigwaqo asenze nama-consultations first from i-council ukuthi bakona right ihlabathi le kumele ilungisweni. Yiko ngiza ukuthi i-council ngangcono sifake umthetho ukuthi hayi amahampu abola muntu ovunyelwa ukufaka ihampu thathani inhlabathi yona le livala amagodi kuphela. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you. Yes, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Worship.
Sorry, before you, Councillor Esmond.
I think to that ngiyamuzu councillor uSpanda. Mina, my point is i-council mawe ukuthi kayila ma-road signs, but when the communities befisa ukuthi kube lama-humps because of the challenges that are being faced, kuyamela layezini ukuthi i-councillor wendawo yakhona siyavumakala ukuthi sizifakele ngoba kuyabe kuhlupha thina sizakhamisi ngoba i-council antikhala ngokuthi ayila ma-road signs, but i-problem yabe affect ama-communities. So we cannot run away ukuthi siye lihluleke sizakhamisi ukuthi silungise okuyabe kusihlukumeza.
Okay, yes. Councillor Zia, your contribution?
Okay, thank you, Worship. My contribution is basically a clarification from the Chair. There's been a social media outcome, so to speak, Worship. There's a circular which is said to have come from town clerk around, say it's criminal for residents to pay roads. So generally, the existing people don't understand. The town clerk says don't pay roads, or don't fill up potholes, so that's just what is this. So I think clarification will come to
There's a rider. Yeah, there's a rider to that.
To that, yes.
The rider is to say you must take authority of the road authority, which is the city.
So
I think that will clarify. The chairperson will clarify.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Worship. Firstly, I want to say we must all know that it is a crime to tamper with a public infrastructure. Without clearance. Why? We have heard abantwana abancane in Emalukchi doing that. We have had so many accidents. It is not the responsibility of residents to fill our potholes. So we cannot be cancelling, come here and delegate our duties to our suffering residents. Council must fill those potholes. That's the first thing. thus the standard practice. What should happen, policymakers? Your potholes in the communities there should be reported and must be filled by council. Well, since we've got community leaders who are community active, you group your residents, you request send to come to the communities for pothole filling. When residents fill that pothole, they've requested through you, and you as a policymaker, you know procedures that are required for potholes to be filled. That is not temporary, because there is supervision from a planning authority, which is the council, led by you, community leader. Where we've got a problem is that people actually in other areas, people are now taking rubble, garbage from their wherever, and they put them in potholes, and they end up becoming dangerous. We are going to concrete precast. That precast is got in simple. What does it do to? For instance, you go to Makoko. No, I know. That's why the council raised it. You go to Makoko now. The number of these humps, I think there are more than the cars that are in Makoko. As I speak, no, this is why he raised the issue of speed humps in Makoko. And the height of a hump code is half of a Honda Fit. So there is nothing wrong with sensing danger of traffic speed in that area and consulting and having a hump. There is nothing wrong. But those humps need to be standard. And you need e-control. A planning authority or road engineers must be involved. And that is, I think the residents are crying with abantwana bachaza imoto. But kumele sibancedise lathi njengama leaders ukuthi beyenze ama humps that are passable, not closing the road using those locations. The notice came out when we discovered. I remember we were here. I don't remember which committee was that. When we discovered at a certain step-up, someone is just doing what he wants. Vuke kuseni ugebhe imgero ukulungisa umgwaqo. Vuke kuseni udrilla ama-poles. People are doing what they want. Uyagebhe imfulo ukulungisa umgwaqo. You're not a road engineer. So this is why we are saying you must be cleared by road authority. Otherwise, if you are doing this, so this is urban area. So we were trying to manage the chaos that was happening. This is election time. You know, you might reshape our city. So we are bringing those that was to kill our city during campaigns. So this is, we must tell you, we must not allow you to disturb the farmer. So this is what we are trying to protect our residents and infrastructure. Yes. So lama amsisho is motamambulance ekhamba nzima. Amabhola adriwe country park lizithuleli imigwaqo bayenza abakuthanda bavula izindlela ba create ama stands okuhlala khona abantu bethi they are doing roads. So lizithuleli. This is why council had to issue a statement warning, like what we did with those that were supplying water with dirty Bowsers. We will continue to warn you and they will not stop there. So that is what we are saying. And they will continue and they will continue and continue. But well, residents can continue to request for sale. But we must not reduce our council. And we must not burden these ratepayers to repair roads. They must pay rates. Council must repair what? Roads.
So I think that notice answers considerably. It's even criminal to do roads in country park. Yes. Without clearance from the roads authority, which is the state of Bulawayo. So whoever is aspiring anyway within Bulawayo, be it in country park, who is doing roads without clearance, he must know from this planning authority, which is the road authority, is committing a criminal offense and must be liable for imprisonment in terms of the Roads Act. That particular notice applies to him or her. I think Councillor will answer.
Yes, Your Worship,
Yes, no, let's hear Councillor Mahmoud. Yes.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. I'm a member of the committee. And I hear the content.
Before you, Karabas. Karabas.
No, you can't speak. No, you can't speak. Oh, sorry. I thought it's another. No. You will speak to 85.
Actually, it's
Sorry, Councillor Bora, I thought you combined 8 and 5 and 6. No, you didn't combine.
thank you very much. The report came to us as a committee about somebody who is part of the illegal activities in County Park, drilling bores without the permission of the planning or the local authority, and doing our roads.
Who is that?
No, let me finish. I thought that the good professor.
We don't know the person, but it's
Wait. I thought that the good professor. I'm going somewhere. Wait. I thought that the good professor, we instruct him with his credentials as a professor, that he knows procedures to follow when he wants to do something. So I'm not even surprised that umuntu uhamba edumela imigwaqo yethu lokuyadrila izikotsho endaweni ezingaphathwanga yi-council. So I'm not surprised. This is why he's failing to fix the issue of inflation and the current issue. Instead of fixing the current issue and the inflation issue, usasiyakuzimele indawo zethu izibhorani okungekho emthethweni lesingakuvuma thina njengoplanning authority. Kubebile a very good idea sibili. Andazwisisa. Ukuthi enjani efakela abantu bekhawuthi park imgwaqwa lokuthi izikotsho. But ukuthi ebuye kathesi ngesikhathi sokhetho ungazange uthola i-authority la silama engineers la sile department which is in charge ngama roads so if he's coming to practice lotito here lapha koBulawayo and njalo sifuna ubungulume yena kayi umsindo wecurrency ngale kayi umsindo wecurrency ngale bese sabiye umsindo weyakhe eCounty Park.
Okay, thank you.
That's right.
Thank you very much. Councillor, item 13. Anyone wants to speak for 13? Yes, Councillor Dofu.
Yeah, my worship. Item 13 is one of the company in the industry, the aspects as it is along the intersection. I will tell you and was one comment more which can be siyabalindela abazibeleye nama business people ukuthi bacela ukuthi basilungisele kumbe ithi siba approachayo na ngoba mbona ngani nxa singaba approach ngaba more effective umgwaqo wethu eminingi ingalungiswa abama business plug back to city of Bulawayo. So bengicela ukubuza ukuthi laba bazibuyela yini kumbe they were approached. If they were not approached, my plea and proposal is to approach more companies as parties.
No, that's fine. I would, but I think the difference is the same. But what is important is that corporates operating in Bulawayo must find it in there if they have a heart for the city, and if they see their struggling city deteriorating like what we hear from outside, that the city is deteriorating, then those with free funds, those who have made money in Bulawayo, there's a policy for those who can adopt roads and so forth and so forth. They must approach the city in the same manner that others, have approached the city. There's nothing wrong as well for us to go with a begging power to those that we think are well off to assist us. But you see, this thing of giving is from your heart. And sometimes it's very advisable that when you're a corporate or even individuals, there are individuals who have money, more money than corporates. You can adopt a stretch of a road, but we want to commend those who have come in to adopt this intersection, and we hope that more will come. I think that two first approach, it must be adopted. The approach, those who think are well off, or those who have made money and have some free funds to approach the city. So I think the difference is the same. But I think that approach, the two approaches must be adopted. Yes.
Thank you, Your Worship. Mine is also just a follow-up on the same issue. Thank you, Your Worship. Like I rightly saying, our corporates in the city, I think it's part of the CRI is just to give back. I know in December, the asphalt engineering offered us some asphalt products just to assist us in road repairs. I don't know if anything has been taken up to this day. The last I checked, nothing had happened. Just following up to what Mr. Dog is saying is, yes, someone comes and says, I can offer you this, but if you don't have the system which takes the offer, I think that's where we miss it in Worship. That's the emphasis now to say, who then goes out there, because engineering seems to be busy to really take up this offer and make a difference to the city. Thank you, Worship.
I think the tools are there. Even if you look at our donations policy, it's there to accept those donations, acknowledge them, and put them to good use, and the user departments are able to identify areas of needs and so forth. But I think as policymakers, maybe you think there are areas that are deficient in your policies. That I cannot tell now, because maybe those policies are housed with the committee there, the engineering service committee, or some policies are even housed. There are some donations that come to general purpose committee. There are some donations that come to health, housing and education committee. But the policies are there. I think we just need to mop them up and ensure that they are effective and they deliver the intended objectives for which they were made. Yes, Councillor Chikwan.
Thank you, Worship. I think our concern to the committee is when these companies then come to us, are we ready? Are we receiving them on time?
Okay.
I will remind you that there are companies which came to us maybe last year or 2 years or 3 years ago, and we have not maybe acted on that. These funeral companies to do umgwaqo ya Masimit. I don't know whether this council remembers that.
We do.
Did we receive them? I want a response from the committee. Have you responded, or has that been effected? Because I'm very sure that Nyaradzo, to mention one, came with an offer. And today, it's 2 years, or let me just make an assumption, 2 years. Has that been done? Has that road been done? And it has, if it has not been done, what is holding up? I think that is Councillor Rozive's concern. That yes, we might have a policy. We have a policy that says residents, companies can adopt a road. But here is Chigora coming to adopt a road. Are we quick to receive him? Okay. Are we implementing? Are we doing it that fast? Because umuntu phela uyagcina sithi kumbe imali yakho uyagcina seyisebenzisa somewhere else. That's where the concern is. So if the committee can respond to us, what happened to Kwabalanda Road? Because we know there was a donation there.
Okay. Maybe before the committee response, you see, a donation must be what you call donation interviews. It must be free without expecting anything. My experience in the last, it's almost 5 years now, when I've been on this seat, and the corporates who have been approaching me, most of them were expecting something. To say, we'll do this, you give us a piece of land, we'll do this, you give this, then it ceases to be a donation. A donation must be free without expecting anything. I think this is where we have had problems with many companies that have come on board, that have approached me as the mayor, that have approached the town clerk. They'll be expecting something. Then it ceases to be a donation in that regard. But anyway, let's allow the committee to respond.
Thank you, Worship. Maybe just to respond to Councillor, I think these two companies responded to a policy which we made that became a notice. We flighted a notice, Uma newspaper, Uma social medias, adopted road policy. So these companies did respond to that notice. So I think okunye okubuzwa ngama members allow us as a committee ukuthi next month sibuye le report of companies who have offered donations lokuthi sesingaphi labo lokuthi sesidiscusseni because okunye like we were saying earlier on ukuthi kule mthetho that we must do supervision to standard se council. So abanye babalekiswa ngama prices sebebona ukuthi engxenye umgwaqo lo imali yankhona sinyeke siyi afford. So allow us to go back sibe le report yankhona next month Worship. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you. Let's move to the report of the Townlands and Planning Committee meeting.
Thank you, Worship. I move that the report of the Townlands and Planning Committee held on the 16th May 2023. Sorry. And the various recommendations contained there be adopted. Sorry, as the various recommendations contained there be adopted.
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And second. Yes, Councillor Jele. Any matters of concern? Yes, Councillor Rosire.
I'm actually a member of the committee.
No, sit down.
Okay.
Any matters of concern? Any matters of concern? Yes, Councillor Batra.
No, it's not about that. It's a committee.
Okay. Any item before item 13?
It's a committee.
Yes, Councillor Batra.
What are you doing as a committee to those who are just partitioning buildings, creating different shops, like what is happening in Egodini, somewhere near N1 hotel, it duels there. People are just partitioning their buildings and end up being like a flea market.
I think this consultation, this item, I expect this item was speaking to vendors, informal trading or something. This item speaks to subdivision consultation.
Subdivisions of those
land where
Can I assist him?
Where this undeveloped land.
Can you just respond to that?
Okay. Yeah, but they will respond to you.
But it's the police.
They'll respond to you, but they are giving us an update on subdivision and consolidations that they have done there. But The chairman will, no, the members will,
before they respond.
members of the committee will respond to you.
Before they respond.
Yes, maybe you have something.
I'm not a member. I'm not a member of the committee, but I just want to raise. We all know what the economy yakithi kathesi esigcwele labantu.
No, but there's no such informal. There's no report of informal traders.
No, I'm not talking about formal traders. Man.
This is a report of.
I'm coming to. I'm adding my voice on what the comrade you are allowed to add.
Okay, the councillor.
Our life, our economy now, it's only on those that when they use source language they say ngwavangwavaring. So when these relatives of theirs, ngwavangwavas, they come to CPD and buy buildings. No one now rent these buildings or uses these buildings as shops because the ngwavangwavas don't use shops, the offices. Their offices in their pockets, their offices in their cars. So if we don't listen to the policy that the town planning committee brought to us and approved, we will have a ghost city. So
which item?
that was talking.
No, but look at that item. No, but you can't. I mean, this is the item. It is speaking to subdivisions and consolidations.
You have subdivisions.
No. There's no such item. This is the item giving us updates on subdivisions that the department has made and the consolidations that they've made. So let's stick to the. If you want to speak to informal traders, look for an item which speaks to informal traders who are just trading anyway in front of shops and who are subdividing shops, those cubicles and so forth. These are for serious business of consolidation and
no, we're trying to school him. No. He was not schooled enough. No. We wanted to school him.
Yes,
item 12 mayor. Guma development permits granted. So I think that's why the deputy mayor was trying to respond. Yes. As a city, we have developed a policy, mayor. Which city subdivide on my shops so to accommodate abantu. But also mayor.
Allow the
mayor to secretary level. I think the concern ngabantu abangakabuyi ku council but already sebezenzele. So I think imele sithumele amajaha la yeke ekhanyela we inspect such premises because we want revenue. Because we are losing revenue kuma shops anjalo. So I think ikhomele sikulungise sakulungisa njenge committee. So next time sikhuluma ku report eyiyo. Ngiyabonga.
That was his concern. Thank you for clarifying, but you were speaking on a wrong item. No, thank you very much. But I think on item 13, we must commend those who are subdividing. Remember we once with some new local plans, local subject plans and so forth, and the city is moving towards densification. I think we want to see more of this from residents, and as community leaders, you must encourage them, more of them to do this, so that land is a finite resource, and we need to continue developing and availing, unlocking land for development from that which is already existing. Yeah. No. Councillor Batra, you still on the? Yes, Councillor Ismo. Councillor. Okay. Maybe before we hear Councillor Batra, let's see Councillor Ismo. 16. There's no 14 and 15, right? Okay.
Item 16, Ekodini redevelopment. It's disappointing, Your Worship. Our town is in mess because of that project. And when you read the report, there's nothing showing that anytime soon Ekodini will be okay. We have a problem of farmer transporters outside, valley crisis, vendors outside.
Yeah.
So something should be done.
Okay. Yes, Councillor Batra, your hand was up on the same item.
Thank you, Worship. I just want to thank the committee and the developer for at least ensuring progress. As I've seen on the report that at least a notarial list has been registered. So it's a sign of progress under such hard economic conditions. So please, let's do it so that it may come to an end. Thank you.
Councillor Indo.
Thank you, Worship. We are on the same issue. Probably a problem now. Mkwako 6 Avenue lwana ukahambe. That's not like an often develop a trade code. If sending it to put what she's for 30 minutes. Sing a hamba makombi la monda future parallel kwa. So in the way continue abula ndlela yini engathekelwa ngayo le committee. Maybe we cancel this, we promote the capacity, or what she economic power corner. Then, cancel this, and that's what the students are right for today. Or I'm going to have a way to now. Say the high school is a white elephant for the city. So I will answer any committee and send it to Salani. It's either now we say, we have to police 7 ladies, sing the messages against the legal that they lead all before. Rather than to do the congestion unnecessary.
I think you have not separated issues. When you're talking of 6th Avenue, that's lawlessness, right? That lawlessness. Then when you talk of there's lawlessness, there's no, I mean, there's no enforcement there. When there was not, there's picking up and dropping of passengers or something. Then there's there's issue of no progress record. Those are two different issues. Let's deal with 6th Avenue. It must be cleared. We must enforce bylaws, traffic bylaws. Then let's deal with the issue of non-congestion. I mean, progress or lack of it, of Ecotin. I think we can move there if we. So, but I understand you when you attribute that congestion on 6th Avenue to a good deal, but it's always there. If there is no control, if we don't have our controls in terms of traffic controls there and so forth, we'll have that problem, even with a good deal having been completed. So I think it's not the only problem. Go to Hyper along 4th Street there. There is that problem of congestion. That has nothing to do with Ecotin and there are many of those. There are many of those points. But if we are dealing with lack of progress in Ecotin, let's deal with that lack of progress at Ecotin. If we are dealing with failure to implement, to enforce traffic bylaws and so forth, especially in areas where there's no this parking management, let's deal with that particular matter. No, you have already spoken on the item. Let's hear from Aden Rafamo.
So, my worship, at least there is something more in the law. See, Kanaloti, Ekotini, Kuzahamba, Siavong on that stage anyway. At least Ekotini, we mustn't also forget to Ekotini. Ekotini is not in Zimbabwe. We must remember also that Ekotini is in Zimbabwe. The situation which we are having as far as the economic situation is also affecting whoever is in Zimbabwe. Thank you, Your Worship.
Let's hear the member of the committee. You are a member of the committee? You are in town planning? No, okay.
Thank you very much. I think for council to fully understand why Ecotin has not been completed, I think the contractor must engage and tell us the challenges which he is facing so that we make the way forward. If we say that maybe we give to another contract, there are legal issues involved there. When this thing was put in place, and I believe that nothing beats dialogue. Worship. Let's engage the contractor, let's hear the contractor, and then we move forward. Thank you.
No, the funny thing that is of fun argument, that is you have just registered a notarial deed of lease just now. Before you even consummated that agreement, You're saying let's cancel it.
No, wait.
I want to. Yes.
Thank you. I'm the member of. I'm member of the committee.
No. You want to respond?
Yes, I'm
before
the member.
No, before you respond, let's hear Deputy Mayor who is the member of the committee.
Thank you, Your Worship. I am happy that members are raising this issue. And let me appreciate what Councillor Ndlovu has said. You know, as what one councillor, we've been hunting for parents that sends their children to what one schools, yet they don't reside in what one. So he has just confirmed. He has just confirmed. So he has just confirmed that no, that's one thing.
That's an.
No, it's not. It's because we've been hunting. So it's just confirmed in the council. Anyway, Your Worship, we've been having a problem where we are failing to do our work and blame Ekotini. Abantu bayathengisa beze befike evileni blame Ekotini. Amabhasi esozivela athwala ekhoneni blame Ekotini. Amabhasi egola yenza ukuthandayo blame Ekotini. When Ekoti was closed, Your Worship, there was extensively consultation with all stakeholders concerned, including me as what one councillor with our residents. We agreed on those areas where the pickup points were going to be. And the council went there and invested, especially on 6-7. Yafika kwakunywa kwafaka ama-pillars, le boom gate yayifakiwe. Zivunyelwe izimoto ukuthi zizayenza so zihamba ku-holding bay ngale. Or because ngezethu izimoto lezi sasivumela zabaphana sakhipha iboom gate sawisa ama-slab lawana sayenza i-chaos leyana. It's a sign of what people have decided to be low unto themselves. Noma wazi ulivula igodi lakhona, they will remain low unto themselves. As much as I know we must make sure that we speed the process of completing Ekotini project, it becomes difficult to allow lowness lapana. Sivumela nokucatsha ngemva kokuthi igodi aliphelanga. Igodi aliphelanga siyavuma. Kodwa kulobu gwelegwele lobugebenga lobukhiwi osomsedorobheni. So what we must address Nkosi is ubukhiwi while Ekotini is in progress. Even investors, would you invest in a city where there is unlawless like that? Where a person cannot tell a combi, you are loading on the wrong bay, you are loading on the road. Do you think your property will be safe, your shop will be safe at Ekotini there? So failure to implement the law, failure to make sure that people abide lomthetho, it affects investment at Doropo at large. No one will bring his Lamborghini here. Yeah. Where you can't remove a tout on the road. His car will be very damaged by these hooligans. Yeah. So let's go back and bring rule of law lapana. And after all, we continue kunye yesingasona. Kodwa peras anti sibakhayela abantu belibulala ilizwe. Ukuthi babulala ilizwe bona baba save apho diet lagcina imali lezi investment. Sikukhangela into obulela umkonomi ngubani. Let's deal with that first. Thank you.
Yes,
yeah. I think abantu bazozile baziphendula ngokuthi thina njengecommittee singaphendulanga kusegcikeni Nkosi. But I thought maybe engxenye wena njenge-legal fund please call our colleagues ukuthi kutshole ukuthi sesile-material intasingaleyana abakuzwisisana ngoba sithi asenzi lutho. I would like to thank u-Alderman ngoba uyabona ukuthi thina as a committee we are really concerned ngikule progress i-concern so I don't maybe engxenye Nkosi ungasincedisa nje ukuthi usikule abafowethu lapho.
Abakuzwe bazabuya kwetshela bazayibona i-agreement ngabe ufuna because that thing is now being securitized. So I think i-progress ekhona although maybe kulaba concerns abantu bazobona phela into esenzakala. It's our concern as well ukuthi at least
also Nkosi I think okunye we are raising issues ezingalandela town plan. issues enforcement azilali le town. Lingathi committee kakhumalo yani.
No, that's fine. Any burning issues? Thank you. We then move to the report of the Finance and Development Committee meeting. I'm advised that TP was last. Finance and Development Committee meeting held on the 3rd of May 2023.
Thank you, Worship. I move that the report of the Finance and Development Committee meeting held on the 3rd of May 2023 is submitted, be received, and the various recommendations contained therein be adopted. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, second. Yes, Councillor Chamago, thank you. Any matters of concern from the report of the Finance and Development? People are satisfied with the finances. Yes.
Item number 12.
Item number 12. 1 to 11.
Only
Okay. Yes, please.
Irritation. Yokuthi 3% le inkosi. Mase sikhangele inflation iqina ingasasebenzi. As much as sifuna ukuyenza ama project kuma ward. Mbona ngani inflation inkosi ayisavumi 3%. Ngoba ngazi ukuthi emebhulu yabo 10 million. I10 million yakuna isathengi. Even ibhara inkosi. So angazi ukuthi maybe singancedisana njani be finance. Ukuthi behambe bekukhanyela. Ukuthi singayenzani lapha nkosi ukuthi ama 3% lawo kube kuyimali ebambekayo ethengayo. Ngoba khathesi ngemali esibhadala ngabantu mbona ngani hayi inflation isichayile yabe ngasasebenza emawadini nkosi. Ngiyabonga.
I think this very good committee yasi interviewer yasibhalisa phansi ama project ethu kwathiwa kuyini what the hold up report angona we never saw it. Maybe imingedwa engayibonayo there was an ad hoc committee set up by unfortunately Chairman, I'm your subject in that committee. But of course, members are concerned that what became of that audit, that investigation, that review of the projects, the status of the projects and so forth, by that ad hoc committee that your committee set up, which is whether the subcommittee was ad hoc, whatever the name called, it never came back to the House with its findings and recommendations.
No, I can comment on that, Worship. Firstly, I just want to comment on what you calculated is issue around inflation. The truth is, the economy has gone so bad. But however, Your Worship, remember our rates are now tracking the exchange rate, the official though. It's never good enough to appreciate. But if our residents are paying now 100,000 where they were paying 50,000, it means we're also getting 3% of the higher figure. But that man is not working, Your Worship, that's the honest truth. The second part of the adult committee, which was headed by Chigora and Councillor Chigora, sorry, and Councillor Mlandu, I think Councillor Makanti, Councillor Mulino. I would ask the chairperson Chigora just to give a brief of what is happening.
No, if you don't have report now, you can't delegate the report. If you don't have it,
I don't have it.
If he has a report to be smart, if the report is there, please, I think this is what the members say. Can you comment? The members want a progress report for what you asked us. You see, you came to a place and asked them about it. So can we have
that let's have a culture of having reports come out.
You know, that's
we don't
fine.
want to be like others
No.
who come and investigate and do things and get money for those reports which never come.
Thank you, Your Worship.
So
I'm going to get that report.
let's have reports. No, I'm not saying members of this council or members of this house who come and get money for investigations. I'm saying others who come and purport to be investigating and so forth, which reports never come. And you don't know what corrective measures to take and so forth. So, if possible, maybe let's have that. I don't know whether in your sitting or your next sitting, whatever you are going to do is give us the breakdown. What you saw in 123, what you saw in 122, what happened, where the money that accumulated in the past 4 years went to say for buying LED lights, what other things were done in those particular wards and how that money was expended, so that we can assist each other. Because all these members want to know how the money, and you set up a committee. That was a brilliant idea, but we never reported to the house.
Well, thank you, Your Worship. I'm going to whip up my councillors into action, Your Worship. I'll report on the receipt.
Thank you.
Move the report. On that A1 detention fund, Your Worship, this council, yakwira ama members of committee, because it was like sending mosquitoes to K-Malawi. They are the culprits. And then ask them now to formulate a committee and investigate. Well, you say they are the culprits. I think we made the wrong decision and nothing will come from that committee. And you are about a month or 2 months away from dissolution. So when are we expecting the report? After 6 months? Because this committee was formulated maybe 6 months ago. So within these 2 months, can they now bring a report to this council right now? Let's just dissolve it, maybe formulate another one, which does not consist of people from the finance committee. Because the panel has in the
No, but you can't ask them to dissolve themselves. You can sit down.
I'm proposing that.
Of course, you can sit down. I'm still responding. No, I'm still responding to you.
Okay.
You can sit down while I respond to you. You can't ask them to dissolve themselves because it was their initiative to constitute themselves to get to the bottom of the matter. But if it was council, it's initiative. You can be saying, but it was their initiative. But that does not stop initiatives of the house. But that was the initiative of the committee, the Finance and Development Committee, to set up, to assign some few members to do this work on behalf of the committee, to see whether they were self-correcting, so to say. So let's give them time until I'm also equally concerned because although I'm a member of the committee, I'm equally concerned because we must be able to report whatever we set ourselves to audit and investigate. So we need that report channel. And I think, Councillor, let's just give them this ultimatum to say that report will be ready in the next ordinary meeting of council. If there's need for other special sittings, if they finish early, order. If they finish early, we may liaise so that maybe we may have a special sitting so that we deal with that very important matter, because members want to know where their project are, what are the sticking points, and so forth. Yeah, and please deal with this albatross procurement process where we are buying 10 bags of cement. Surely, can we take 3 months to buy 10 bags of cement and to go and pick stones in Ntumbane, to go and do stone pitching in Nketa? You don't need to go that. Yeah. So deal with some of those matters.
As a correction to my fellow councillor, the Development Fund, Your Worship, is not a responsibility of the Bureau of Finance. Remember, it's across the section from engineering, procurement, everyone is involved. thin out
To manage it.
Try to understand whether the process are just moving. So we might be the custodians of the money, but we are not responsible really on the day to day. So you should understand that, but we want to really come back and give a.
Okay, thank you. Okay, no, that's fine. Alderman Rafaman.
Yeah, well, my worship, I want to remind the House, the concept was good, it is still good. But then, whenever you start creating offices or committees, don't forget that you'll be creating also bureaucracy. Please, councillor ufuna project lay ufaka ku-TC, u-TC afaka ku-director, i-project lay yenze khonapho. This was the concept. Why should we need a lot of investigating what has been done? If it hasn't been done, please, you have failed. Accept that and correct. Well, yes. If it is the financing committee which have received our money as residents, and a policy was done that 3% of that money which we have paid must be used on the Konapo concept. So what is stopping that? Yeah, that's the retention. That was the concept, and that was the intention.
You applied.
Order. Let him finish. Then you respond.
The retention fund, the ocean, maybe fellow chairperson of finance, when this policy was done, he was not there. So maybe it is also good for him to listen and to know really what was our intentions when we say we want the 3% retention fund. We really did this because the situations in our wards are not the same. And well, the councillor knows best the smallest project which can do in the ward.
Yeah.
At that time, not what we started 2 years. Retention fund, yes, the project retention fund take 2 years. No. Yes, the inflation is now coming in to hit us. But why not using that smallest amount on the smallest project in that ward? This is our plea. Your worship, Sitela retention fund concept ingafi. Ibulawayo finance committee or whichever committee. We are needed.
Yeah.
Sikala uwe, your worship.
Yeah.
You are a member of the committee, I know. Please. Lengas bopika kulei retention. I saw a committee. You just Patalan. Well, it's the directors who are not implementing. Bring it forward as a committee. UTC unigo project. One director, director one. Then we deal with it in this council. Thank you, Your Worship.
Move. Yes, you can respond.
Worship.
Sorry, okay, no, that's fine.
Sorry, it's not good.
There's a end, they know that you respond. Yes,
Thank you. I think this issue is a critical issue, and we need to be very much serious on it so that even our residents will realize something is coming back. You know, so my proposal also Councillor General raised a very important question to say that inflation is coming in and 3% I was proposing that we raise it to 5% instead of 3%, and I'm asking the committee to look into it, to increase it to 5% instead of 3%. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, what do you want to say?
Yeah, for one person.
On the 5th of April 2020, we got solid in this house on a by-election 15 days later, we submitted the project, which we wanted to do in what night. There was 2.8 million by April. And the projects which we had said we want to do was a facelift of the sporting facilities at Tinya Trade Center. The project came, the memo came back to the chamber secretary that no, the council should stamp and sign. This is the 5th time or the 3rd time talking about the same issue in this house. Non-implementation of certain policies or things which are brought by policymakers is something which this house cannot accept, Your Worship. We need some sense of seriousness, right? Seriousness. We understand, yes, you're having challenges with money, but at least, you know, when the report comes that no, we went there and the project took off, and the project is at this stage because there is no money. The residents will lead there, they will then ask you, over the weekend we're being told to sell our manifestos and what you have done as a sitting councillor in your ward for the past 5 years. And you've got nothing to show, Your Worship. And that weighs heavily on the policymakers. So, what retention? I'm happy we've got a new director. We had somebody who was supposed to deal with these issues. But he must know now, so that going forward, he knows how to maneuver. Residents are motivated by these small things, Your Worship, for them to pay their rents. If you go back to the feedback meetings and tell them what is your 3% has done that, and you encourage them to pay, they pay. It's very unfortunate we are heading towards the last mile of our term. And certain people were so eloquent in their silence about this critical issue. And some of the colleagues in here are victims of the 3%, why they will not be coming back to council. I'm speaking this with a heavy heart, Your Worship. I'm speaking this with a heavy heart, Your Worship. Because you are charged with how you perform by residents. It's a shame.
Thank you.
And Your Worship, allow me to pour my heart. This is very critical.
We can't allow people to put
This thing, Your Worship,
you have no heart.
Your Worship, I'm speaking the I must speak effects. I'm speaking the I must and it's in allow me, I've got the floor, Your Worship.
No, but
this thing will judge us, Your Worship. Yes. Right? As the worst performing council, because certain projects were not implemented. Yes, we must accept the truth in this conduct as Worship, so that tomorrow we know how to correct our mistakes. Thank you very much.
no, I think we've made still on item 30%. Yes, council. Yes. Yes, Councillor Mabuto, you've been allowed time to pour out your heart. Now allow them to speak.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
On the same item, Your Worship, I think the committee must be serious with us. You know, people out there, they are paying, in my ward, some are paying in hard currency, some are paying in bond. But look at the table. The table is in bond notes. And you know the issue of inflation. So to say, people give me 3% of the forex paid transaction. That at least to do successful project. So the finance committee, please be serious with us. Don't take us for granted.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm not here to defend. This water retention also affects me. But what we should do as council is to lay the facts on the table and point to where it has failed, where it has succeeded. For the first time, let me admit that it has failed. But because as council, we did not make sure that what we intended to do in terms of policy was going to be implemented in the manner that we intended. What am I saying? What retention was supposed to have an account separately there. Very old councillors who were here for the past 5 years or so, they know that was our intention. Have a separate account there, all the 3% going into that account. But we debated here as councillors. We allowed it to say, no, we don't need a separate account. Ngoba kula mali ezakonkotwa hizi njangaphi ngaphi. I am on record, Your Worship, of saying what retention will never work as long as it does not have a separate account. Because it will face challenges. Because the priorities will differ daily. And if you don't have a separate account for it, it is not going to attend to these other projects, one day or the other. So as council, we failed to monitor it, make sure that it operates in the manner that we intended. Right. Going to the accounts that we have now, what the retention, the committee, the separate committee, the ad hoc committee that you were talking about, was never created to take away the procedure, the normal procedure of you as a councillor to follow up your projects. It was the committee was never formed to take away your right to follow. When you submit your papers, you go to the department, you follow it up. Has it been implemented? If it's not implemented, you go to the director, to the town clerk. You follow that process. So for those projects that have failed, please, I allocate the failure to the councillor who is saying it has failed. Because you have, yes, because you have failed to follow it. And if it has failed, you know where it failed. Because you must have that information. You must not wait for the committee to tell you. Where were you? Did you follow up your project? If you didn't, did you give that right to someone to do your job?
We followed up.
That's the second part of my response. And then the committee only came to set a bar. You remember Bolt had international standards in terms of what do they call it in sprinting. You run 100 meters over 9.76. That's a record that you set. So as finance committee, we set a record, and we wanted to improve that record. But now members are measuring us to say, why did you, in the first place, not achieve more than your own record, beating your own record? Because that was our own standard that we set. No one told us, like you indicated, Your Worship. So you can't then say to Bolt and say, why did you not run 5 seconds over 100 meters when everyone else has failed 9.76? So going forward, Your Worship, what I'm saying, Councillor Mabuto, you have failed yourself You submitted your project because you knew where to submit it. You knew about your project. You submitted it. You failed to follow it. You now want to blame the whole committee. That's not okay, Councillor. Please go and tell your people that I submitted your project and I followed it up. Tell them where it failed. Don't talk about the committee. Tell them where it failed. So there is no need, Your Worship. There is no need for this committee. There is no need. I said it last full council. I even volunteered to say, please dissolve us now, because there's no need, because the process is there. We are only trying to assist you members to follow up on your, but we're not taking your right to follow, to do your things. Going forward, Your Worship, Councillor Ndovu is also contradicting himself. He's saying this committee cannot achieve in the next 2 months something that they've failed to do over 6 months. But he goes on to suggest again to form another committee. I am surprised. How will that committee again go and deliver in 2 months when that has failed in another committee? So if there is no time to do it, Your Worship, let's accept that this thing that we created, we failed to manage it properly. Yes. Those that are going forward with the service delivery in this August House must take note and make sure that it is corrected. It's improved, It is improved. Because without a separate account, it will never work. Let's have a separate account there that is constantly monitored to say this money must not lose value in this account. Let it deliver. Let it deliver. Where are you, Alderman Rafa? Your project is here. It's ready. Money is ready. Please come and take your money. As long as we are not doing that, we will just be singers and praise singers here and doing nothing. Thank you, Worship.
We trusted you to do that in the committee.
Thank you also.
Councillor Chikora.
Thank you so much, Your Worship. I want to say so much, except to say, I think there's a perception or misconception about finance. Tonight's finance, we just wait for one thing. Your PV has come, we are going to pay. Procurement, engineering work and all that, we are not involved. As finance, if we fail to pay your PV, please come to us and say finance has failed you. When you want to Yakai toilet, for example, maybe it costs you more than 10,000 years. And procurement to say, it's not above, just go to for it. Finance doesn't come anywhere near that. We are not part of that process. But when you have done all your people, your invoices are now with the director's office. When you are failing to pay that, please blame finance. Because as finance, we are now failing. But the whole chain, we are not involved. This committee, I think it was actually just our own initiative. Otherwise, it can be across all the committees. Because the process is there. Go to Chamber Secretary with your project. From there, phone your Chamber Secretary. She will tell you I have given DVD. Go to DVD. It's now finance. If finance has failed to pay, please come to us. Because we are now failing. That's our only part. We're just the gatekeepers. We don't do anything with your money. It's your money. When you ask us to pay, we're going to pay. That's all we do as finance. We don't direct where the money is supposed to go, who should not get it and who should not get it. Because it's budgeted for, it's your money and ours to pay. But we don't pay just on an invoice without going through the processes in your
So in other words, you are not the implementing department.
At all, anyway.
You just pay.
We just pay, period. Period, and they went there. I think they need to understand that, Your Worship. Thank you so much.
Very clear. That finance will not go in the pick stones to two-stone pitching. Finance will not go in the drill balls and so forth. They will just wait to pay at the end of it all. So I think if following up on those projects, yes, Chairman.
So bengalaleli umsebenzi otherwise move the report.
I've got an open motion, Your Worship.
No.
On the committee.
We have spoken on that. I think let's not the committee. I thought it's another item.
I thought another item. I want to allow that motion now. Can you send the motion to the relevant? Yes. Is it item 10? What item 10? No, but it's before. But it's before 12. I inquired whether there's an item before 12, and there was no item. It can't resurrect now. No, you can't go forth and back.
I worship.
No, you can't. I asked, then item 4, item 12, and members were required. So you can't go forth and back. Thank you. And then we now move to the report of General Purpose Committee meeting of 24 May 2023. Deputy Mayor has gone out, he chaired the meeting. The members of the General Purpose Committee and members, I wasn't there in that meeting. Yeah.
I move, thank you, Your Worship. I move the report of the General Purpose Committee meeting held on the 3rd of May 2023 is submitted, be received, and the various recommendations to be here.
24th May. Yes, Councillor S. Moy. Any matters of concern from the report? Yes, Councillor Batra, item 10. Item 10.
Item 9.
Yes, item 10 request for use of local authority offices for the 2023 annual election and nomination court procedure. No. Yes, item 10. Yes.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Your Worship, I urge this house to house them for nomination proceedings. Let's give them the offices, and also let's encourage citizens to go in their large numbers to vote, and also to defend their vote on the 23rd of August. I thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And another pending the matter of concern. Thank you. I received one. There's agenda part 2.
No.
What? Oh, audit report. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I thought there's a report of the there's the minutes of the audit committee meeting. Who is moving there?
For 26 April.
Yeah, the minutes there of the 26th of April. Yeah. Yes, Adam. Audit report meeting of 26th April.
26th April. I move that the report of the audit committee meeting held on the 26th April is submitted, be received, and the various recommendations contained therein be adopted.
Thank you. I understand that there is agenda part 2 in which oh yes any second in love. Thank you. Matters of concern. Thank you. There is agenda part 2 in which I ask the House to recuse myself. Thank you. Thank you. As I softly drive you, agenda part 2 was a 2020. What are we saying, councillors? Thank you. Chava chapera.
I didn't know.
Thank you. You know I can send you out. Thank you. Any applications for leave? Any applications for leave? Being there no any other business, I will ask you to join me in council committee. The letter ma pepe to